Okay, good evening everyone. We're continuing in Masechta Nedarim Daf Hashavua. We're learning Masechta Nedarim Daf Yud Amud Beis. We just said, what's the reason they made kinuyim for Nedarim and Karbanos and Naziros and Shvuah? Because we're afraid if you use the word Karban, you're going to come to say Karban Lashem, then you're going to come to say Lashem, and then you're going to stop short, and you're going to say Hashem's name in vain. Vitanya, the last words on Yud Amud Aleph. The last words on Yud Amud Aleph. Vitanya, we learned in a Raisa. Rabbi Shimon Omer. Minayin shelo yomer Adam. How do we know a person shouldn't say Lashem Oila? Tahashem is an Oila. Lashem Mincha. Lashem Toida. Lashem Shlamim. But instead, Oila Lashem Mincha Lashem Toida Lashem Shlamim. Tamad Loimer Karban Lashem. Dafka Karban Lashem. This way, because if you're going to say Lashem Karban, who knows what could happen? Maybe the person will pass away, and it will be Moitzi Shem Shemayim Levatala. Says Gemara v'Kava Chaymer. Umazeh shaloi neskavein ela lahazker Shem Shemayim ala Karban. If this guy, he was only mechavein to say Hashem's name on a carbon. He didn't have kavanah to say Hashem's name in vain. He just had kavanah to say Hashem's name on a carbon. Amra Torah, the Torah says carbon Lashem. Davka, first carbon, then Lashem. Levatola alachas v'kama v'kama. To say Hashem's name Levatola, all the more so. Now, so therefore we say these kinuyim, kainam, we say kainach, kainais. This way you don't say karban and you end up saying Lashem. It's interesting in Megillas Rus, the Chassam Sofer says, well, if you shouldn't start off with Hashem's name, why do we say Shalom Aleichem? Shalom is the name of Hashem. So they're masakin that you greet your friend with Hashem's name Shalom. But you should say Aleichem Shalom, Aleichem Shalom. Why? Because in the Zuchus, that you're being makdim Shalom to your friend, you won't die after you said the word Shalom. But your friend, he's the second guy out, he's just responding, he doesn't have that Zuchus, so he has to say Aleichem Shalom. In other words, why doesn't he say Shalom Aleichem? Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. You know, I say good morning, you don't say morning good, you say also good morning. So Shalom Aleichem is a Zuchus, so you won't pass away. The responder, though, he has to say Aleichem Shalom. Okay, says Gemara, says the Ran. Nope, no Ran. Lema Katanoi, let us say that the machlokes between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish of what kinuyim are. Rabbi Yochanan says Lashon Umais, Reish Lakish says Lashon Shabadul Hem Chachamim. Let us say that this is a machlokes Tanoim. Why? Beishamai Oimrim, Beishamai says kinuyim asurin. What if it's not a nickname? What if it's a nickname of a nickname? So instead of kainam, it's kaimanam or something like that. What about a nickname of a nickname? So Beishamai says kinuyim are asur. Beisol Oimrim kinuyim mutar. My love, what's the machlekes? Manda amar kinuyim asurin. They hold kasavar kinuyim lashon umaysein. It's a foreign language. So since it's a foreign language, so the nickname of the nickname is also some kind of, you see, we asked before if it's a foreign language, then of course it should be effective. What's the chiddush? The answer is it's a foreign language, it's somewhat slangy. So kinuyim are even slang of the slang. You know, they only speak it that way in the hood. So kinuyim are just a regular slang, and kinuyim are really full slang. So Beishamai says that kinuyim are a lashon of the Umay Sa'ilam, and kinuyim likewise would be aser. And Beis Hillel says no, kinuyim. So the Manda Amar kinuyim aser and holds kinuyim lashon Umay Sain. Ulamanda Amar Mutarim, and Beis Hillel says kinuyim mutar kasavar lashon shabadul hem chachamim. The kinuyim are a language the rabbis made up. They invented it, and they only invented kinuyim. They never invented the kinuyim. So Gemara Loi, the Kul Yama Kinuyin Lashon Umasim. Everyone says that it's the language that is a foreign language. And the question is, like, how significant is this slang of the slang? How many people are really speaking it? Beis Shammai Savri, Bahani Nami Mishtay. Beis Shammai says enough people are speaking in the Kinuyim, Nami Mishtay Umais. So Beis Hillel Savri, that Bahani Loi Mishtay Umais. This language, the Umais are not speaking. And if you want, you could say, Beis Shammai Savri, Beis Shammai holds, Gazrinan, maybe really no one's speaking it. But Beis Shammai holds, we're goizer, kinuyim, mishum kinuyin. Even though nobody's speaking it and it really should not be effective, we make a gzeira of kinuyim, atu kinuyim. Beis Hillel Savri, loy gazrinan kinuyim, mishum kinuyin. Says the Ran, Beis Hillel Savri, hachi loy mishtay umais. Beis Hillel say, no, the umais don't speak this slang. Kolamer da afilu mishtay, hachi, even if some do speak it, it's not that they're arguing in Metzias, but Beis Hillel holds even if some speak it, let's say me'ikar lashain, they don't speak it as a primary language. Ella deminayu mishtab shibachi. Some people, they have a corrupt version. V'lav lishnahu, it's not a language. V'kaimelan Rabbi Yochanan, they hold like Rabbi Yochanan the Amar lashain umais heim. They hold like Rabbi Yochanan who says that it's a language of the umais. V'kaimelan nami de kinuyin mutarin. We also paskin that kinuyin are mutar, like Beis Hillel. Right? So we hold like Rabbi Yochanan that it's the lashon of the umais, and we hold kinuyim are mutar. That's how we paskin. Because at first the Gemara wanted to say they argue whether it's lashon. Beis Hillel says it's lashon shabadul hem chachamim. No, everyone says it's lashon umais, which fits into Rabbi Yochanan, who we paskin like, and we also hold kinuyim is mutar. So even though some goyim speak that, but it's not, they don't speak it as an ikar language. Fine. The Gemara continues. Heichi dami, kinuyim. What is an example of kinuyim? Which is somewhat difficult. What do you mean, what's an example of kinuyim? Who cares? Kinuyim are mutar. Only Beis Shammai says kinuyim are asar. Unless you say, look, when Mashiach comes, we're going to pass on like Beis Shammai. So we need to know. L'maisa, that's some say that's somewhat relevant to Chanukah. That there are certain things on Chanukah that we do that we're concerned for Beis Shammai. And for example, just in the kavanos of, let's say, the second bracha of She'asa Nisim L'Avoseinu, some say one is mechavein in that bracha to do the mitzvah like Beis Shammai. And there might be an idea on Chanukah, which is like a chinuch of the Gula HaSida, so Beis Shammai plays an even more important role. If you remember the Gemara in Shabbos, Chaf Aleph Amud Beis, the Gemara says the machlokes Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel, and the Gemara says there were two Chachamim and Sidon, one did like Beis Shammai, and one did like Beis Hillel. So, and the Rif brings that down la halacha, one did like Beis Shammai, one did like Beis Hillel. Why would the Rif bring that down? So the Chavetz Chaim writes in the Bir Halacha that even though we always paskin like Beis Hillel, but that's by halacha. But this is a question about mahadrin. It's not me'ikar hadin. So for that, you could go like Beis Shammai. See, there might be an idea that for Ner Chanukah, certain ideas of Beis Shammai are taken into account, even though some say the whole Chanukah is Rashi Tevos, Ches Neiros v'Halacha K'Beis Hillel. Okay. In any event, the Gemara wants to know, what is kinuyim? Hechidami kinuyim. The Nedarim. Tani Rav Yosef. So, kainam would be mekanmina, kainach would be mekanchina, and kainas would be mekansina. Hechidami kinuyim decherem. Tani mafsha'a, charakim, cherek, charachim would be cherech, charafim, cheref. Kinuyim de Naziros Tani Rabbi Yosef mechazkana minazachna mafichna. So in other words, nazik naziach paziach becomes minazchna mefichna. Ibailahu mifchizana. What about that? Mai. Mitchizana mai. Mitazana mai. Amalei Ravina Ravashi. Kinma mai. What about kinma? Do you mean kainam kamar? Or dilma kinaman besam? Or do you mean cinnamon? Does the guy mean to make a neder? Or does the guy mean cinnamon? Amalei Rav Acha Beid Rav Chil Ravashi. Kina mai. Do you mean kina shel tarnagoyim, a chicken nest? Kamar or dilma lashain de kainam. Or maybe it's a lashon of cherem. It's a lashon of kainam. Says Gemara tibai. Remember what tibai meant? In Nedarim, tibai is teku. The question stands. And the Tosfos said tibai is a lishna de Nedarim shani. Kinuyin de shvua echidam. What would be kinuyin of shvua? Shavuel, Shavusiel, Shekukael. Says Gemara, Shavuel? Shavuel ben Gershon mashma. That's the guy's name. That's Moshe Rabbeinu's son. Ella Shavuvael, Shavusiel, Shekukael. So that's... The Bach takes out the word mahu. Amar Shmuel, Amar Ashivta lo yamar klum. If you said Ashivta, that's meaningless. Ashkika lo yamar klum. Karinsha lo yamar klum. Weiter. Nadar b'moihi. If you made a neder by Moshe, harei elu kinuyin. Tanya, Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer, ha'omer b'moihi. If you said by Moses, lo yamar klum. Only b'mo masa da amar mohi. By the vow that Mohi made, harei elu kinuyin l'shvua. That is a kinoi for a shvua. Let's see the Ran. It says a holy Ran on top. Ubeis Hillel Savri. Hachi loy mishtay umais. Goyim don't. Okay, that we saw. Tanya Rishim Gamliel Omer Nadar b'mayil Amar Klum b'mamasa da Amar Mohi harei elu kinuyin l'shvua. V'hachi perusha de Reb Shimon Gamliel. V'hachi perusha de Reb Shimon Gamliel lefrushim as nisanasi. He's coming to explain the Mishnah. Dechi katani Nadar b'mayil loy da Amar b'mayil b'chad. When it says Nadar b'mayil, it's not where you just said Mohi alone. Ela da Amar b'mumasa da Amar Mohi. The vow that Mohi took, Kolamer b'shvua shenishba Moshe, k'dechsiv vayoyel Moshe, la sheves es ha'ish. Mishim hachi tnan, therefore we learned in the Mishnah, Nadar b'mohi. He made a neder in Mohi. The ilu amar shvua shkuka b'mohi. Therefore the Mishnah said, Nadar b'mohi. Remember, we said, the Ran said he's going to explain this later, and here it is. We're talking about kinuyim of shvua. So why would it say nadar b'mohi? We're not talking about nedarim. We're talking about shvuos. The answer is if it would say shvua shkuka b'mohi, hayamashad amar mohi b'chud. That would be mashad. If all you said was mohi, that would also be a shvua. Mishamachi tran nadar. Lashminan d'vi'inan sheyazkir nidroi shel Moshe. It's not enough to say Moshe's name. You have to say the vow of Moshe. But you don't have to use the word neder. Of course, you could use shvua. We're talking about a shvua. But you can't just say mohi. The be'inon sheyaskir nidroi shel Moshe dahainu shvua dahainu tekamar Rav Shimon Gamliel b'mumasa da amar mohi. Okay, now we're just going to read the final Mishnah, and we'll explain it with the Ran, Bez Hashem, next week on Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. It's a very short Amud. Let's just read the Mishnah. We'll explain it more fully on Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Ha'omer loich lechulen. One who says lechulen sha'oichalach. Not chulen that I'm going to eat from you. That's equivalent to the Bach has a gerst even loy chulen. Or loy kasher. What this food that I have is not kosher. Now this is a new process. The first Mishnah talked about yadais. half of a statement. Then we talked about kinuyin, nicknames. Now we're talking about a full neder, but it's called hatfasa, where you're not making the neder directly and saying this item should be asr beneder. You're referencing another thing which is asr beneder, and you want that to extend to the permitted food. So omer loy chulin, that which I'm eating should not be chulin, she'oichalach, or loy kasher, the loy dachi, or not pure, or tahar. Really, the gersa it should say not tahar. Vitame, or you say it should be tame, or noisar, or like leftover kachim, upigol, or kachim that was brought with improper kavanos. Asur, or you say it should be, in all these cases, asur. They're asur. Ke'imra, that it should be like the sheep of kachim. Hareo like ke'imra, like of the tamidim. Kedirim, like the animals of in the corral that are designated for karbanos. Ke'itzim, like the wood of the pyre of the mizbeach. Ke'ishim, like the fires of the mizbeach. Ke'mizbeach, ke'heichal, ke'rushalayim. Nadar be'echad mikom mishamshei mizbeach, one who made a neder, invoking any of the appurtenances of the mizbeach. Afal pi shalei hizkar carbon, even if he didn't mention a carbon. Hareze nadar be'carbon. It's as if he made a neder in a carbon. Rabbi Yehuda Ha'omer Yerushalayim. If somebody says this should be Yerushalayim, then that's meaningless. He didn't say Ki Yerushalayim, so that does not have meaning. This will explain more. All the Rans are on Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, and that's where we're going to explain this more fully. Okay, we're going to hold it here. You're welcome to join us at 10 p.m. We're going to have a short shir of chidushim, new material that we never said. L'kavod Rabbi Meir Ba'anes. Shkoyach everyone. Afreilach and Chanukah. Shkoyach.